Hey, what's up, guys? So, Dakaari Nelson, four-star safety from Alabama, has committed to Penn State. Penn State keeps doing well in the recruiting trail, number three class in the country. And you have to really appreciate that about Franklin. Even though he struggled on the field, he's at the very least kept hope alive with good recruiting classes the last couple of years. So, it's interesting to see what's going to happen at safety because Penn State hasn't been able to recruit from the high school ranks a safety, come in and develop him to become an all Big Ten type player since like Marcus Allen. Since Marcus Allen, they've had to go to the JUCO ranks to get good safeties. And obviously, Jaquan Brisker is really good, and Jair Brown had a pretty good year last year. But they need to get guys who can come in and be good for us for a few years, and they try to do that. I mean, Enzo Jennings, not to say he can't do that, but so far he hasn't really done too much. And you look at Tyler Rudolph. I think that was his name. I remember his last name was Rudolph. Yeah, it's just they didn't really pan out so far, and they're four-star guys. And I just think that Penn State, I don't know what's going on with the development of the safeties, but they have to rely on JUCO programs to develop them, and then they're ready once they get on campus, which has worked for them, but I don't think that should be the plan long term because that's not sustaining, in my opinion. Uh, but yeah, we'll see. This guy is ranked just inside the top 300. Not saying he's going to be this great safety for us, but it'd be great if they can take a blue chip safety and turn him into that. The secondary in general, Penn State has always been weird. Like there have been some decent players over the course of uh, Penn State teams run by James Franklin. They've had. I remember that one year in 2017 they had all four of those guys were NFL guys, and last year they had some pretty good secondary players as well. You got Joey Porter Jr. coming back. Terry Castor Fields has always been a solid player. Um, Obviously he's gone, but then you look at the safeties and Brisker and Brown, and they had a really good secondary last year. That was the strength of defense. And there have also been times I would say that has been the weakness of the whole Penn State team because when Etor Gross Matos and other guys up front like Micah Parsons and that front seven were doing well, you would see big plays be given up in the passing game, and it's just that you'd like to kind of combine those strengths that have a good front seven, have a good secondary. Because if you expect to have a good amount of success like Penn State wants they're going to have all these components be good on the football team, or they can't even think about making the playoff. So they better hope they can add all these components to their team through developing and recruiting, which is something that Franklin's kind of struggled with the last few years, and see if they can get back to maybe that 2016-17 caliber teams back when Barkley, McSorley, Gesicki, and those great teams were really good because that was a fun time of Penn State football in recent memory. All right, thank you guys. We are Penn State.